You know, there is a specific sound that I think defines a traveller's first hour in Ho Chi Minh City. It's not the language, it's not the rain, it's that wall of sound. The engines, the honking, the sheer volume of humanity moving on two wheels. It's terrifying.
It is absolutely an assault on the senses. I think terrifying is the word most people use before they use the word magical. But you're right. Looking at Saigon traffic from a hotel window looks like looking at a colony of ants that just had their hill kicked over. It looks like pure chaos.
Exactly. It looks like there are no rules. But we're looking at a guide today that suggests that's an illusion, that there is actually a very strict, albeit unwritten, set of laws governing that sea of motorbikes.
Right. It's what sociologists might call emergent order. It looks messy, but it functions. And the first hurdle mentioned in this material is the simple act of crossing the street. In New York or London, you wait for the gap, you wait for the red light. What happens if you do that in Saigon?
You grow old and die on the curb.
Precisely. You will never cross. The guide makes a fascinating point here. The strategy is steady wins the race. It's almost meditative. You have to step off the curb into moving traffic.
Which goes against every survival instinct we have.
It does, but the logic is physics. The riders are flowing like water. If you are a stationary rock or a rock moving at a consistent speed, the water flows around you. The danger comes when you hesitate. If you panic, stop, or, God forbid, jump backward, you disrupt the flow. You become unpredictable, and predictability is the only currency that matters on those streets.
So it's a trust fall. You're trusting a stranger on a Honda Wave not to hit you.
You're trusting their skill, yes. And honestly, Vietnamese drivers are incredibly spatially aware. They are calculating your trajectory. So the advice is, walk slowly, keep your pace, and don't make eye contact with the fear. Just go.
That's a life lesson in itself. Now, if you aren't brave enough to walk through the fire or drive yourself, the guide brings up the tech solution. The holy trinity of apps: Grab, VinFast, and B.
These are lifesavers. It removes the two biggest stressors for a foreigner, the language barrier and the negotiation. You know exactly what you're paying before you get in.
And you know the driver isn't taking you on a scenic tour to run up the meter. But there's a safety tip here that I think people overlook when they're staring at their phones waiting for a ride.
Right, checking the license plate. It sounds basic, but in the chaos of rush hour, hopping onto the wrong bike is easier than you think. But actually, speaking of phones, that brings us to a darker side of the street savvy guide. The eyes up, phone down rule.
This is the snatch and grab issue.
It is. And it's unique because of the geometry of the city. Because the traffic is so close to the pedestrian, the barrier between road and sidewalk is porous. A motorbike can be on the sidewalk in a split second. If you are standing near the curb holding an iPhone 15 out like a beacon, it's gone.
The guide mentions pulling deep into the sidewalk or even into a shop to check maps. It feels a bit paranoid, doesn't it?
It feels paranoid until you see it happen. It's not about fear, it's about removing opportunity. It's the same with bags. The Saigon style of wearing your backpack on your front. It looks a bit silly, like you're pregnant with your luggage, but it signals to everyone, I am aware.
It changes your body language. You look less like a tourist and more like a resident. Speaking of that porous line between road and sidewalk you mentioned, that was one of the most surprising points to me. The sidewalk isn't a sanctuary.
Not during rush hour. In Saigon, the sidewalk is just lane 4. If the road is gridlocked, the bikes spill over. It challenges our Western definition of public space. We think of sidewalks as pedestrian exclusive. In Vietnam, space is fluid. If there is empty space, it will be filled. So even if you're walking on tiles, you need to listen for engines behind you.
It really reinforces that idea of the city as a living organism. It expands and contracts. Now, beyond the traffic itself, there's the environmental aspect, the commuter's survival kit. We aren't just dodging bikes, we're dodging the elements.
The trinity of survival: mask, poncho, sunscreen. The mask is non-negotiable. The exhaust fumes at street level are intense. But the poncho, that's the one that catches people off guard.
Because the rain doesn't give a warning.
Exactly. It's not a drizzle. It's a curtain of water that drops instantly. If you wait 5 minutes to buy a poncho, you're soaked. And the locals know this. You'll see everyone pull over simultaneously to suit up. It's a synchronized ritual.
It sounds exhausting, honestly. You're watching for bikes on the sidewalk, clutching your bag to your chest, sweating through sunscreen, and breathing through a mask. Why do people love it?
That's the paradox. Because once you stop fighting it, once you find that rhythm we talked about, it's incredibly energizing. You aren't observing the city. You are physically part of its bloodstream.
You're surfing the chaos rather than drowning in it.
Beautifully put. And I think that's the takeaway. The traffic isn't a nuisance. It's the culture. It's the energy of 8 million people chasing a better future, all at once on 2 wheels.
So the advice is, be predictable, be alert, and maybe wear your backpack on your front.
And buy a poncho before it rains, not during.
Solid advice. It seems like navigating Saigon is less about following traffic laws and more about learning a new language of movement.
It is. And once you speak it, the city opens up to you in a way you can't imagine from the window of a tour bus.
A perfect place to leave it. Drive safe, everyone.